My friends, we are in for a treat today. We have a fantastic guest coming to us from the great state of Maine. Please welcome to the show, Kevin Hawkes. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Great, thanks. Good to be here.
I had the chance to speak with Kevin and also the author of the book we're going to be talking about today, Michelle Knutson. And it was such a fun conversation. You two seem to have been like friends forever.
Michelle's great. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
really fun doing books with her.
And so tell us a little bit about Luigi. Luigi's a spider that has a weird self-concept, I guess.
Yeah, Luigi, this book, Luigi, the Spider Who Wanted to Be a Kitten, has a spider as a main character, and the spider crawls into this house and is mistaken for a kitten by a woman who's always wanted a kitten. And Luigi discovers that being a kitten has some perks and actually wants to maybe try it for a while. So we have a spider who is trying to look and act like a kitten, which was a bit of a challenge for an illustrator like myself, who's also a little bit of an arachnophobe. So my job was to make a spider friendly and approachable and cute who could also look and act like a kitten.
Yeah, you were telling me that it was you had to make the spider big enough so that it would be mistaken for a kitten, but not like because I think about a kitten-sized spider, I'd be out the door.
Yeah, right. It was a fine line. I tried to find it. Yeah.
Well, I think you did. And so today you're going to teach us how to draw Luigi?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just
Awesome.
going to give you a very basic, quick lesson on how to draw Luigi, which took me actually a long time to figure out. I went through a lot of sketches before we got to just the right character. But I'm
Well,
going to show you how to do that.
this is great. You know, one of the things I have to check with you because you're like the official illustrator. One of the things that I do when I'm watching one of the drawing with your kids lessons is I'll watch it through the first time, and then when I go to draw it, I'll pause it after every step. Do you think that's a good way to do it?
That's a great way to do it. Yeah, pause
Okay.
it as often as you need to take your time and just make sure you're catching up.
Yeah, and having fun. All right, so let's go to the lesson.
Hi, my name is Kevin Hawkes. I'm an illustrator, and today I'm going to show you how to draw Luigi, who is the main character in my latest project, Luigi, the Spider Who Wanted to Be a Kitten, a book written by Michelle Knutson. I'm going to start with a big sheet of white paper, and to begin with, I'm going to make some light lines on the paper, just to give you a little outline. This helps me to figure out what I'm drawing before I actually put down dark lines. So I use some lighter sort of lines here. We're going to start with a shape that's a little unusual. It's wider at the top than it is at the bottom. So it's sort of like this. A little bit like an oval, but not quite. It comes to a little bit of a point, but not a real point, a dull point at the bottom, okay? So there's our general outline. We're going to put in some eyes in here. Luigi is a spider. He has several eyes, but we're just going to do two main eyes, and we're going to put them towards the bottom of this shape. Not up here at the top, but more towards the bottom of the shape. So two eyes, about the same size. It doesn't have to be exact, just close enough. And you can even have little circles around the circles. You know, you can go around a couple times there. And then underneath, there's a wider mouth. I'm going to have his mouth go out to the edge of his eyes about this far. All this is going to change a little bit when I do the final drawing. Okay, so this gives us a shape of something we can start with. Now, we're going to go back and make this outline, only we're going to use marks like fur. I'm using a dark brown pencil, and we're going to make some marks like this. All the lines are going to be pointing towards the center. So we're just going to make these lines go zigzaggy like this. I'm not trying to be too precise. They can stay a little bit towards the outside of that shape. Again, as I move around like this, As I get closer to the bottom, the angle is going to change so that they're still pointing a little bit back in. And it's okay if some of them are off. There's no right or wrong right here. We just want something that looks furry. If I'm drawing a spider and I want it to be cute, furry is much nicer than spiky or pokey. So I want to make lots of nice little lines. Okay, there we go. That's a nice start. Right on this side, then I'm going to come in and I'm going to make a little darker line. Now you can change the shape a little bit if you want. I like it to be a little oval eyes, not exactly round. They're going to be a little bit narrower than they are tall, but I'm going to do this so you can see that a little better. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to put the mouth in a little bit darker too. Nice gentle curve, just coming out to here. Now spiders have several eyes, and so in this story, I could have drawn the eyes a little bigger and made lots of them, you know, different ones, but I'm going to make some extra little indications that could be used for eyes. You know, could be just a little bit of a reference. Just make some little dots like that, very light. We're not going to make those very prominent. Okay, so here we have a general shape. Let's go into this center part of the eye, and we're going to make something that looks a little bit like a C or maybe a G, just an oval, but it's not all the way closed. We're going to leave it a little bit open like that. Now we're going to come in and we're going to color in this area right here. But when we get to that point, we're not going to close that off. We're going to go out a little bit and pretend like there's a little circle of light right there. So we're just going to color in this much, and we're going to leave that area, that little circle right there open, okay? Great, there we go. That makes Luigi's eyes look a little bit glossy, a little bit shiny and reflective. Okay, all right. So there we have the basic face. Now we're gonna make some legs. To do that, I'm gonna start over here and I'm just gonna make some little shapes. Remember, these are gonna be furry legs. So we're just gonna do the same thing we did here, only just a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs for a spider. These will be the beginning of his legs. Now we're going to make a little light line right here to show where the legs are going to go. Our paper gets to the edge right there, so we won't have very long legs. These are going to be short legs. Short legs also make for a cuter spider instead of long. Now we're going to come right down here and we're going to cover up this line. We're going to make another segment of fur right there. Same over here. These segments are narrower here and wider here, so they sort of fan out a little bit. If you have a little bit of extra fur sticking out somewhere, that's just fine. Not going to make any difference. And we'll do that several times, always trying to follow that little guideline we made. We'll do it like 3 times. Now, we've got this. Things are looking pretty good. Let's go back in right now, and I'm going to make these areas a little bit darker. We're going to darken that right up. We want that to be the first thing that you see when you look at a picture of Luigi. You want to see the eyes first. So you make the darkest dark next to the lightest light. Once we have that, we'll do a little bit more fur. Since he's a furry spider, you can go in and go back over things, and if it doesn't quite line up, that's okay. We're going to come back in here now, and we're going to make some more fur, only we're going to make it in closer to the center of the circle. We're going to close it in that circle, always keeping the fur kind of going the same direction as the fur right next to it. And the closer we get into the eyes, the lighter that fur is going to be and the shorter it's going to be. So finally right here in the beginning, there's just like little, almost little dots, just little dashes right here. So just lots of fur. Now we'll make one more tour around the edge. We're gonna stick in some long pieces of fur, a little bit like he's had a bad hair day or maybe just woke up. Go ahead and you can be wild and crazy here. Just make these furs kind of go in whichever direction. That gives them a nice sort of rough look and it makes the outline a little bit clearer. And finally, to finish off, I'm going to take a crayon, a yellow crayon, more like a mustard colored kind of crayon, and we're going to go over the whole thing and color this in. Go right over those other eyes, go right over the fur, don't try to color around it. Go right over it, it'll still show up. You can go right into the fur and that'll sort of connect the fur everywhere with the same color. We're gonna get sort of this nice, warm, yellowish spider. We got one more thing to do with our eyes before our drawing is finished. You can even come down here in the legs if you want to put in some yellow to sort of tie that in. Okay. Remember, you can go back in and put more yellow. You can go back in and put more fur. Totally up to you. Doesn't have to be all nice and neat. Just has to be all there somewhere. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back in with another crayon. This one maybe is a little bit lighter brown kind of crayon. And we're gonna color in these parts of the eyes. But when we get to this, we're gonna leave this little area right there. That's still gonna be white. And we're gonna leave a white area at the top right up here. So I'm gonna color it in like this. We'll just leave that area at the top. A little light too. Crayon breaks. There we go. There we've got the eye has some color to it now. Now we're going to go back in and we're really going to make those eyes stand out. Just going to make that dark like that. Our brown pencil. Really color that in dark right close to that white fleck of light. You can add any other little details you want. And there's Luigi.
Hey, Kevin, that was so much fun.
Thanks, that was fun. It's always fun when I draw a character again. Sometimes when I finish a book, I don't get a chance to draw the character much anymore. So this was really great to go back in and remember all those details.
Yeah, one of the things I was wondering, is it hard to keep those things straight? Do you have to sometimes go back to the book and look and go, oh, I forget to add this or that?
Yeah, you do actually. If the book has been out for a while, especially, and you've moved on to other projects, you have to remind yourself, get back into that character again.
Hey, it's kind of like asking somebody who's their favorite child, but other than Luigi, who is the character that you most enjoyed drawing?
Oh, I have a lot. I have a lot of characters out there. Library Lion's one for sure. I would actually have to say Mr. Snore. I did a book called There's a Dinosaur on the 13th Floor. It features a character named Mr. Snore. And Mr. Snore took a while to figure out, but I finally did get him, and I figured out that he was just basically a nose. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun.
Well, we have to check that out. Hey, if people want to find out what Mr. Snore, the nose looks like, and some of the other characters in the books that you've created, where should they go online?
You can just go to kevinhawks.com. That's my website. You could also go to Instagram, which is Kevin Hawkes Official, on Instagram.
And one of the things that we're encouraging kids to do is to get their parents' permission. And if you do get it, upload your picture of Luigi, tag reading with your kids. Can they tag you too, Kevin?
Sure. I'd love to see them. I'd love to
Yeah,
see the drawings.
that would be great. Well, we want to thank our friend Kevin Hawkes for teaching us how to draw Luigi, the spider who wanted to be a kitten. Thanks so much, Kevin.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.